Okay, we'll get someone out there as soon as possible. See ya. That's a Mrs. Robin Cousins. She's got a bloke sitting in a car across the street from where she lives. He's been there on and off for a day. So I'm out on patrol. I'll check it on my way out there. How's it going?
What's the problem?
Would you mind showing me your licence, please?
Why, I wasn't driving.
Do yourself a favour, Sonny, and don't be a smart-ass.
Benjamin Murphy, born 1975. Nothing to say he's done anything he shouldn't have.
And the rego?
Well, that's in the name of Murphy too. John Patrick, same address in Fitzroy. Born 1949. I'd say it was his dad.
All right, thanks, boss. Is this your dad's car?
Yeah.
Does he know you got it?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me what you're doing here? You live in Melbourne.
House hunting. Yeah, my dad thought he might buy a place around here, do it up and sell it.
I don't see any for sale signs on the street.
Did the agent give you the address? So what's the attraction of the street?
There's some houses in it.
Right, Benjamin, I'll tell you what you should do. You should go get yourself an agent to show you around that'll save you from unsettling the residents.
Yeah, right. Well, can I go now?
Cousins. I don't think you got too much to worry about.
Oh, good, thanks.
What's going on, Mum?
Oh, it was just someone in a car. I thought he might have been watching the house.
Who was that?
I gave us an account of what he was doing and his ID checked out.
Yeah? Well, who was he? I mean, why'd you let him just drive off?
Well, usually we've got to have some evidence of misdeeds before we lock him up and throw away the key, matey.
It's all right, Dean. It was just some kid in a car. Thanks, Constable. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, tar. Why didn't you tell me he'd been hanging around the place?
There you go. Thanks. I sometimes wonder whether he remembers all the toys he used to have.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't. Not at his age.
I should have taken some of them away with me. It was too hard in the end. 1 o'clock in the morning, I just picked up Sam and walked out.
You must have been pretty desperate.
Yes. No money, nowhere to go. I don't know what I would have done if Chris hadn't have given me a room and a job.
You're managing okay then?
For the moment. But now Ian started legal proceedings.
To get Sam? Oh, he wouldn't stand a chance, would he?
Well, that's what terrifies me. I think he might stand a very good
Oh,
chance.
come on.
No, all the stuff that happened between us, well, it's just his word against mine.
The police were never called in.
It was verbal abuse mainly, and threats. Lots of threats. And the few times he actually hurt me, I was too scared to call the police.
What's your solicitor say?
She wants $5,000 up front before she'll even take on the case.
Well, what about legal aid?
Well, I could if I went on benefits. But if I do that, then Ian can hop up and down in court and say that I can't afford to support Sam in the way that he could.
Well, surely the courts wouldn't go along with that. Sam's only 3.
I don't know. Ian can afford a good school for Sam. The sort of start in life that I can't give him. Oh, God.
I suppose there's no objection to me seeing my son on his birthday, is there? Hello, Sam.
Yeah?
Do you remember your toys? Wouldn't you like to come home and see all your toys?
Don't lay that on him, Ian.
Look, you like we could go and buy some more toys?
Why don't you just leave her alone?
Isn't good enough.
Oh, yeah, a constable's wife.
Look, why don't you just give her a break? This can't be very good for Sam either.
I suppose as the wife you get used to sticking your nose in.
Let's go, Ross. Come on. Let's go.
How's it going, Benjamin? Guess a beer, would you, Liz?
Oh, right, you just slipped into a phone box and changed back into Clark Kent then, eh?
Yes. Yeah. How's the house hunting going? Seen anything you like?
Not yet.
Where you staying then?
Room 6.
How long for?
Depends.
Depends on what.
The house hunting.
Cheers, Liz. There. Good luck then.
Your turn, Nick.
Grab some.
Can I have another one, Liz? You okay?
I'm just really tired. I've got another job, cleaning at the kindy in an office block. Don't tell Chris.
How can you do that and look after Sam?
I found a long daycare for him. I know it's not the best, but I've got to get the money together somehow.
Ian won't win custody. You're the boy's mother.
I don't know. I'm scared of the court, Roz. Scared of his smart-ass solicitor and the fancy barrister they'll hire.
But you're a good mother. It won't come to that.
He's got all the cards on his side. He can tell the court whatever he wants and they will believe him.
What do we know about Ian Mooney?
You're not getting involved in a domestic, are you?
No, I'm just curious.
He's a bit of an arsehole, isn't he?
Yeah, bit of an arsehole. Yeah, big mouth, likes to give people a hard time. Why?
No, I just met him yesterday.
You? Yeah, you. If you'd done your job properly yesterday, I wouldn't have to be here.
Mr. Cousins, how are you? Now, what's happened to you?
Well, what do you reckon? The joint's been broken into. You let that kid go with a kind word and a pat in the head, now he's bloody burgled the place.
So this is where you keep your valuables?
Yeah, well, family papers. Oh, a few bank books and passports, insurance items, you know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, looks like they've gone through it in a hurry. You check it out for me and don't touch the knobs.
Oh, well, frankly, I wouldn't know if anything's missing. Robin would know better.
What's going on?
Well, what does it look like? We've been burgled.
The guy in the car, Dad?
Yeah, the one that was allowed to just drive away. Look, I wish you'd had the sense to ring me at work when you saw him. I'd have sorted him out.
You can't assume it was the same guy, Mr. Cousins.
You reckon?
Any idea how he gained access? Windows, doors?
PJ, the neighbours haven't seen or heard anything unusual.
And none of the windows or screens appear to have been tampered with.
Because you left a door unlocked, sir.
Well, back door was wide open when I got home.
What do you think, Mrs. Cousins?
I don't know. I might have left the back door open. Remember, we've lost the keys and no one locks their doors around here.
Not even when you've had a guy watching the place for days.
The constable moved him on.
Did you ever think he might come back when the constable had gone away?
Mrs. Cousins, do you think you left the back door open or closed?
Well, what difference does it make?
It makes a difference to the category of the crime, sir. Now, if the door was open, it means he got in without breaking the seal of the house. It's a lesser crime.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
If it was closed but unlocked and he had to open it, it counts as a burglary. So which is it?
Oh, look, does it really matter? Nothing seems to be missing.
Mrs. Cousins, I'd like you to check there, see if any cash is gone.
Yeah, well, he's dipped out there unless she's been milking the housekeeping. Look, try to remember about the door, will you? I tell you, if it is this same guy, and he gets off on this door open, door closed bullshit, you can tell him for me I'll gladly break both his legs.
I think you can safely leave that sort of thing to us, sir.
You smart-ass coppers.
I haven't seen him since breakfast. Have you seen Ben, Liz?
No, I was just going to do his room.
All right, take a look.
Yep.
He could just leave this stuff and take off.
Hey, would he, though? It's a nice guitar. I think we'd better have a chat with him.
You want me to ring it in?
Yep. Nick knows the car, Rego's on file.
Why'd you speed up?
Didn't see till I heard the siren.
Want to have a look through your car? Is it going to be a problem for you?
No.
Would you mind stepping out then, please? Whose is this stuff?
Mine.
Gee, it's a nice CD player.
I bought it.
You got a receipt for it?
Not on me.
That's a shame. Who's this a photo of?
An auntie of mine, she lives in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Keeping a photo of your auntie under your mattress. It's funny, Ben, she looks a lot like Mrs. Cousins to me.
Who?
That house you parked outside of. The lady who lives there. This photo looks a lot like her.
It's a coincidence.
What is?
She looks like my auntie.
Thanks for coming, Roz.
That's okay. I can't stay for long, though. Has Ian been giving you some more trouble?
I get this feeling that there's someone watching outside the pub.
Ian?
Could be. Or someone he's hired to make sure that I don't put a foot out of line.
How do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks I'm going to earn my solicitor's fees through prostitution or something.
Here in Mount Thomas?
It's the way Ian thinks. He thinks everyone's got their price. I can understand now why women go on the game to feed the kids. Maybe Ian was right. Maybe we are all whores at heart.
Hey, look, there must be something you can do. Didn't you tell me that he'd been married before? Well, what about his first wife?
No help there. She couldn't have kids, so he left her to marry me. Hates my guts, I should think.
There must be something.
What I really need is something where I can say, if this all goes to court, it'll come out. Or that I can use in court to prove that he's not fit to have the care of my child.
But do you think there could be something like that?
I've got this feeling. Just something I've picked up over the last couple of years. There's some dates that don't quite tally, some time that seems to be missing.
You don't think that he could have been in prison?
That's what I'm guessing. But I don't know how to go about finding out. If he was in prison, the police would know, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Or they could find out.
Yeah, but there are all these rules about confidentiality.
Rose, I'm desperate. If I lose Sam, I've got nothing to live for.
All right, Ben. Why'd you break into the house?
I didn't break into any house.
All right, you entered the house, you looked around in a hurry, you took some property, including this photo. What else did you take?
Where you going? I picked you up, Ben.
You gonna meet someone? Hand over the stuff?
No.
Were you spotting for someone? Was that the detail?
Was it the other bloke who got disturbed when Mr. Cousins came home unexpectedly?
No.
Look, Ben, why don't you make life a little easier for all of us and tell us what's going on? Hey, you want us to call your parents?
No. Look, I'm 19. Big enough to take care of myself.
Well, I'm sure they'd want to know if you were in any trouble.
I took the photo.
All right. Why? Come on, Ben. Why?
What's it matter?
Well, I'm curious. A magistrate will be curious too. He'll ask all sorts of awkward questions like, were you disturbed in the
I didn't see or hear anyone.
So why take the photo?
Are you seeing a doctor, Ben?
What?
Taking any medication?
No.
Then why'd you take the photo?
Something came over me.
Uh-huh. Now, was that something to do with Mrs. Cousins? I mean, you kinky for older women or something?
No. No, I'm not.
I've been thinking about it, and I'm sure I left the door open.
Didn't hang a sign out front by any chance, did you?
I only thought I'd be gone a short time. Mark had a free day. We just went to buy a few things.
Well, he admits to the photo, nothing else. And there was nothing else of yours amongst the things in his car?
No. Do you have to charge him?
No, we don't have to. It somewhat depends on you.
I don't want to.
Well, why not? He's either a crim or a loony. Look, either way, he's better off the streets.
No. He's only a boy.
What is it with this guy? What's so special about him?
How do you mean?
Well, you haven't got something going with him, have you?
I've never seen him before in my life. Never.
Mrs. Cousins, are you sure you don't want to lay charges?
I'm quite sure.
Mr. Cousins?
No, I guess not. I don't like it, but I guess not.
Well, we'd better be getting home. Mark will be getting back from footy practice soon.
So what happens now?
That's the correct address in your vehicle, Rego? The address you live in?
Yes.
Okay, we may want you later. For now, you can piss off.
How come?
The lady's not keen on charging you. Don't ask me why.
So what are you up to? More house hunting or off home to Melbourne?
No, just back to the pub.
You know, Sonny, you got a way of pushing your luck.
Yeah, I do.
All right, Benjamin, you stay clear of the Cousins' place, okay? Because Dean Cousins was bloody rapeable when he left here.
I feeling nobody's telling us the full story here?
Yep, and why was Robin Cousins so keen to say she left the door open? That charmer of a husband was bound to give her a hard time about it.
Well, maybe she's just honest. The door's open, so she says it is.
Well, she's hiding something, all right.
Okay, boss, what then?
You're the detective, PJ. Besides, I think she has the right to privacy.
You know something?
Maybe. Well, suspect anyway, but it's not relevant. No informant forthcoming, so there's no case to proceed with. Now, one of Nell's famous roasts awaits me. Good night, all.
Good night.
Don't forget to lock up.
Just for a quick one.
I'm busy, thanks.
There's some paperwork to do.
I'm off home. You coming along?
Yeah, just got a couple of things to finish here. Be home soon.
Righto.
You got it. Assault. First one was just a pub brawl and you got off on a bond. But the second time it was really serious. You put a guy in hospital. Ruptured kidney, severe spinal injuries. Ian got 8 months.
I knew it. Thanks, Roz.
Now look, I've written down the dates for you, but the rest is up to you. Look up the newspapers at the time, get the cuttings. The second one was serious enough to have been reported on. And you should get your solicitor to do it.
Liz?
Oh, sorry, Chris, I'm coming.
Liz, be really careful how you handle it, okay?
Thanks again.
Really careful?
Ambulance is on its way.
How long's he been like this?
I don't know, I didn't hear him come in. Must have been after midnight, though.
Have you tried to wake him?
Yeah, of course. I don't like the way he's breathing.
As long as he is breathing, I'm a happy camper.
Thanks, Wayne. Keep us posted.
How's he doing?
Oh, he's responding to stimuli, whatever that means.
What about his injuries?
Cuts and abrasions around his head, possible concussion, no skull fracture, a couple of broken ribs.
Was it an assault or a hit and run?
The doc says injuries are consistent with assault.
When will we be able to talk to him?
No, they'll let us know. There's no neurological damage, though, as far as they can tell.
Well, that's something. They'd better let his parents know.
Right. Yeah, g'day. Supervising Sergeant, please. Detective Hasham, Mount Thomas Police. Yeah, how are you? Get me in touch with John and Linda Murphy, please. Yeah, we have
Can I help you?
Yes, is the sergeant here?
Yes, he is, but is there something I can do?
No, there isn't, thanks. My client will speak only with the sergeant.
Look, Mr. Mooney, you were convicted, you served a sentence. It's somewhere on the public record. Now, how your wife got hold of the information, I don't know. But it did not come from this station.
Oh, come on. Your officers hang around the pub all the time. Liz talks to them. I've seen them. One of them obviously took pity on her and thought he'd help her out.
It's not obviously anything. You're making very serious allegations against the officers of this station.
She's very persuasive. I've got reason to know.
In that case, I'm sure she's got friends that would help her find the information.
She works long hours and she hasn't left Mount Thomas.
We do have telephones and a postal service, Mr. Mooney. What, I'm entirely cut off from the rest of the world?
Sergeant, my client holds it as a very firm belief that she was given this information here.
I don't care what your client holds as a firm belief, Mr. Hall. He's wrong. And I'm surprised you would bring him in here making allegations of this nature without any proof. It's very poor behaviour on your part.
We thought you should know. That you'd want to investigate.
There is nothing to investigate. I can assure you that no officers of mine would be passing out confidential information. Will that do?
There you go. Well, we're not going to get much more out of the kid, so we should make a few guesses, eh?
Dean Cousins.
Place to start.
Wouldn't he chuck it in a dam or a creek or something?
You'd think so. People panic, get careless if they don't think they're under suspicion. Like this careless?
Blood?
Yep.
Mount Thomas 308 to Mount Thomas 508. Is your radio secure?
Yes, Wayne, how'd you go?
One bloodstained axe handle any use to you?
Thanks, mate. Get it to forensic, eh?
What do you want?
Turn the machine off, please.
I'm not busy, mate. I've got deadlines to meet here.
Turn the motor off and get out. Like you to come down to the station, Mr. Cousins. We have reason to believe that you can assist us with some inquiries.
So you found it in my garage. It doesn't mean I used it on anyone.
So where were you last night?
Oh, a few mates and I went to St David's.
Could they say you were with them all the time?
Oh, until I drove home, I suppose.
Right, so you drove home alone. What time was that? Sir?
Look, I don't know.
Wayne just called from the hospital.
Mhm.
Ben's coherent. Said he didn't see who jumped him. It was too dark.
Oh, you may be telling the truth.
And his parents have arrived. They're at the hospital now.
Look, Maggie, get over to the hospital, see what you can ferret out, eh? Parents might be able to tell you something.
Sure.
Right. Where were we?
Mrs. Cousins, could we have a bit of a chat? Don't you think it's about time you came clean?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I think you do, Mrs. Cousins. You know who Ben is, don't you?
Well, he's just some boy from the city, that's all.
You frightened of what Dean might do?
Hello, Mount Thomas Police.
Please, Sergeant, leave it be.
It's not my secret, is it?
Excuse me, boss. Inspector Faulkner's on the phone.
I'll take it in my office. Excuse me. Think about it.
Could you take a statement from Mr. Cousins, please, Senior? And we'll need fingerprints to compare with those on the pick handle.
You can't fingerprint me unless you charge me.
Well, you better charge you then.
Oh, what?
The weapon from the assault, sir, was found in your garage.
Yeah, I told you about that.
You made remarks to Constable Schultz and myself about breaking both his legs.
Well, I was angry.
Make out a charge sheet, Senior.
Now, just wait on a minute here,
We'll
pal.
give you bail if you want it. Now, take his fingerprints.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Finish, sir?
This is bullshit.
You reckon?
Your husband alleges that you obtained confidential information about his record.
I got information, but it wasn't confidential.
Who gave you that information?
A friend of his gave me a clue. I looked up in the newspapers.
What friend? What was his name?
Just someone I met in the pub here, someone who knew Ian before. I don't know his name.
Why is it your husband alleges that this information came from police records?
I don't know.
You might as well tell me, because I'll keep pushing this till I find out. Was it one of my officers?
No.
Not an officer. But someone with access to the computer. Liz Mooney.
Boss, I'd like to...
You may as well know the only reason I would consider fixing this one is the respect in which I hold Wayne.
You don't hold me in any respect?
At the moment, not much.
You do realise that I haven't asked you to fix it?
I'm aware of that.
Would you listen to anything that I said?
Probably not.
She was up against the legal system. Her solicitor wouldn't do anything unless she paid the money up front. We're part of that system. Why can't we help her?
Because as you and I well know, there are...
Yeah, privacy, protecting the criminal. I just don't go along with that.
Mrs. Patterson, the one thing I don't intend to do is debate the rights and wrongs of our criminal justice system with you. What you've done seriously breaches the conditions under which you're employed at this station and the trust you hold here. You've also caused serious personal embarrassment to me.
I am sorry about that. But nothing else.
I don't know what'll have to be done about this. I'll have to talk to Ted Faulkner first. In the meantime, go away. I don't want to see you again until I ask for you.
Why? Why would you be so stupid?
Because she was in danger of losing custody of Sam. Wouldn't you have considered offering her some help?
I wouldn't have considered doing something like this.
I just don't see what the big deal is. They're recorded convictions.
All right. What did you do? Tell me exactly.
What is this? Am I being interviewed like one of your crims?
Yes, you are. Now tell me what you did.
I got the information off the computer.
Did you give her the printout?
No. I took some notes. Just dates. I gave her those. And I told her to be careful.
Oh, careful.
Just to use it so that she could dig out the stuff herself. I never meant her to use it raw.
I warned you about her, didn't I? Didn't I warn you about her?
I couldn't just let her flounder around by herself.
You are so stupid. You are just so bloody stupid.
Why? Because I'm capable of caring about somebody else's problems? None of the rest of you would have done that.
You don't get this, do you?
No, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Before you ask, she's not to come back into this station till this has been resolved.
She's not a serving officer. She doesn't think the same way we do.
Son, you know as well as I do that doesn't make any difference. When she took the job, she accepted the rules we all operate under.
And if she loses this job, what's she going to do? It's been hard enough for her to settle in as it is. If you take the job away from her, you're pulling the rug out from under her.
She may not lose the job.
Well, if she does, there's not a lot keeping her in Mount Thomas.
Wayne, she's got to realise that she can't breach confidentialities and get away with it. Now, you get that through to her, you'll be doing her a big favour.
Now, the thing is, Mark, we've got a good clear print on the pick handle. And since it's in the blood on the weapon used in the assault, there's no chance it could have happened before the attack. You follow me? So once we find the person who made that print, we'll know who at least one of the assailants is. And of course, that assailant would come off a lot better in the juvenile court if he admitted to it himself, rather than waiting for us to prove it. Now, you know your dad's been charged. No, it's not his print.
It's mine.
Okay. Can you tell us why you took such a dislike to Ben Murphy? Why, did he have a go at you? He say something to you, what?
No, I don't know.
Please, Mark, you could have killed him.
Who is he, Mum? Why did he steal that photo? There was something going on. He was hanging around Mum, making trouble. Dad was getting pretty aggro about it, so I reckon I'd better do something.
Mm-hmm. So how did that happen?
I didn't mean to do him any real damage. We just hung around outside the pub till he came out. We just wanted to scare him into going away.
We?
A couple of mates. It just got out of hand.
I'll get to those names in a minute.
What's going to happen now?
Well, we'll drop the charges against Dean. After that, we'll see what the juvenile court says. It'll depend on Ben Murphy's evidence.
We'll want him in here for another day or two for observation, then you can take him home. But he needs a few days' rest after that. Will you be staying around here?
You don't have to, Dad.
Well, we're not going home until you can come with us.
The pub does a good bed and breakfast.
The patient needs a rest. He's not as tough as he likes to think he is. Oh,
Don't worry, Mum. Head like a rock, you always said. You'll be able to have my room at the pub.
I'll show you where it is if you like. But if you wouldn't mind dropping into the station on the way, Sergeant Croydon would like a word.
Okay.
Thank you both for coming.
How can we help?
Ben wouldn't tell us what he was doing here. Can you throw any light on it?
Well, he wouldn't tell us. He just said that he had some things to sort out.
Tell me, he's been adopted?
How did you know?
Educated guess. And he only found out about it quite recently.
Oh, we put off telling him over the years. In the end, we had to tell him when he needed a birth certificate to get his license.
How did he take it?
Well, all right, really. But he decided he wanted to know who his real mother was. He went through the whole process. Traced back the papers. There was no veto on them. I don't know how he traced her back to here. Still, he's a bright boy. Stubborn.
He'd want proof, though. He'd want to be sure she was the one.
Which would explain why he broke into a house here.
Broke in?
Well, gained access to a house here. It wasn't a break and enter as such. And all that was taken was a framed photograph.
Then he must think that he's found her.
Do you want one?
No, thanks. Wayne, I don't know.
She used you. You know that, don't you? You got used.
Maybe.
You asked her to take care. She didn't take any care. Therefore, you got used.
If she'd taken more care, and if I hadn't got caught, would that make it all right in your view?
No! You had a position of trust. You abused that trust.
In a good cause.
Bullshit! Enid never got custody over a caring mother.
It's not what she thought.
She used you.
Stop saying that, will you? I got used, so what?
So you bitched endlessly about not having a job when we got here, right? Well, now you've got a job and you've probably blown it.
You don't know that yet.
The boss is off his face. This affects me too.
Why? You weren't party to it.
You're my wife. It damages me.
I'm sick of things.
Born 5th of May 1975?
Yes.
And your husband doesn't know?
No. I was going to tell him before we got married, but I never quite got round to it, and then it seemed too late. I never saw the baby. I was 16 when it was born.
How long have you suspected it was him?
Oh, since the photo went. Had to be some reason. But I never thought it would end like this. If I'd had any idea Mark would go and do it, he did. I mean, it's his half-brother.
Does Mark know that yet?
I suppose I'll have to tell him. I suppose Dean will have to know too.
Won't he understand, though? I mean, you were only 16.
He's not a very understanding man, you might have noticed. God, what a mess.
I think it has to be faced and sorted out, though, for everyone's sake.
Could I see him? Ben?
Hi.
Hi. Letting me go home this afternoon.
That's good. Ben, Mrs. Cousins is here. She'd like to talk to you.
Do you know why?
Yes. And so do you, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Mrs. Cousins.
Hello.
Hello.
I've asked you to come down here because it's come to my attention that that information did emanate from this station.
Bloody hell!
However, it wasn't a sworn police officer who gave it out.
Yeah? Well, who did?
That's also confidential information at this present time.
But it won't be too hard to figure out, will it? Not a sworn police officer? There won't be too many other candidates.
Mr. Mooney, this matter is being treated very seriously, I assure you. My superior officers have been informed and a full internal disciplinary action will be taken.
Like a smack on the hand. Thanks for nothing.
Do you play any sports, Ben?
I never liked sport at school. I like music. I'm not bad at the guitar.
Really? Mark plays footy. Fullback.
Yeah, I played a couple games. Hated it.
Uh-huh.
Tell me. Sorry, what do I call you? Mrs. Cousins?
I'll make it Robin.
Tell me, who was my father?
Oh, just a boy. He was only 16 too. We were much too young for any of it.
Did you see him again after I was born?
No.
What was his name?
Ted.
Ted what?
Ted Carpenter. Teddy boy, we used to call him. He's probably still in Melbourne somewhere. I don't know where.
Excuse me. Ben, your parents are here.
All right.
Oh, well, I'd better get going.
You could come back later.
No.
Hello, Mum, Dad. This is Mrs. Cousins. She dropped in to see how I was getting on.
And how is he getting on?
Well, he's a fine young man. Oh. Take care of yourself, Ben. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too. Thanks.
How you feeling?
Fine. They say I might be out of here today.
Good to have you home again. I couldn't stand it.
Don't worry, Mum. I'm fine. I'm here. Okay?
Roz! I rang the police station. I've been looking for you. What did the sergeant say?
A lot of things. I'd see him again in half an hour.
They couldn't sack you, could they? I mean, just for that. I mean, couldn't you appeal?
Thanks, but I don't need any amateur legal advice. I asked you to take care with that information, didn't I? What did you do? Did you ring Ian the same night and say, hey, baby, listen to the stuff I've got on you?
Something like that.
Why? Why didn't you do it the way I asked you to? Why didn't you take a little bit of extra care in return?
I'd had a few drinks after work. I thought, at last I've got him where I want him, and I rang him up. I only meant to hint, but we got arguing. I know I behaved badly, and I'm sorry I did the wrong thing by you, but the trouble is I'll do anything to protect Sam. Lie, cheat, maybe even kill. That's the trouble. Can you understand that, Ross?
So, Ben, how do you feel about testifying against Mark Cousins?
Not real good. No, I'd rather not.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I did bring it on myself.
Take him home. Keep him out of trouble. Let's go. Right. All the best. Almost.
All right, this is how it is. If you'd actually handed her a printout, there would have been nothing I could do. I'd have had to give you the option of either resigning or being dismissed.
You mean a choice of the rope or the chopping block?
Roughly speaking, yes. But as you only gave her the information, there's every chance she'll get off with a severe reprimand and a warning. Inspector Faulkner's still waiting on a decision which will be made at a higher level. I'll let you know as soon as I hear the result.
Don't bother.
What?
I did it because in the present system of so-called justice, I saw someone at risk of losing custody of her 3-year-old child to a bully of a husband. That's why I did it. And I'm prepared to stand by my decision to the point of resigning if I have to.
I've just told you you won't necessarily have to.
I think I do.
Well, at least talk to Wayne about it first.
No. It's my job. And it's the police department that's taking this attitude. So I'd appreciate it if you'd inform the police department of my decision.
If you insist.
Give me a piece of paper. I'll put it in writing now.
Okay, we'll get someone out there as soon as possible. See ya. That's a Mrs. Robin Cousins. She's got a bloke sitting in a car across the street from where she lives. He's been there on and off for a day. So I'm out on patrol. I'll check it on my way out there. How's it going?
What's the problem?
Would you mind showing me your licence, please?
Why, I wasn't driving.
Do yourself a favour, Sonny, and don't be a smart-ass.
Benjamin Murphy, born 1975. Nothing to say he's done anything he shouldn't have.
And the rego?
Well, that's in the name of Murphy too. John Patrick, same address in Fitzroy. Born 1949. I'd say it was his dad.
All right, thanks, boss. Is this your dad's car?
Yeah.
Does he know you got it?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me what you're doing here? You live in Melbourne.
House hunting. Yeah, my dad thought he might buy a place around here, do it up and sell it.
I don't see any for sale signs on the street. Did an agent give you the address? No. So what's the attraction of the street?
There's some houses in it.
Right, Benjamin, I'll tell you what you should do. You should go get yourself an agent to show you around that'll save you from unsettling the residents.
Yeah, right. Well, can I go now?
Cousins. I don't think you got too much to worry about.
Oh, good, thanks.
What's going on, Mum?
Oh, it was just someone in a car. I thought he might have been watching the house.
Who was that?
I gave us an account of what he was doing and his ID checked out.
Yeah? Well, who was he? I mean, why'd you let him just drive off?
Well, usually we've got to have some evidence of misdeeds before we lock him up and throw away the key, matey.
It's all right, Dean. It was just some kid in a car. Thanks, Constable. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, tar. Why didn't you tell me he'd been hanging around the place?
There you go. Thanks. I sometimes wonder whether he remembers all the toys he used to have.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't. Not at his age.
I should have taken some of them away with me. It was too hard in the end. 1 o'clock in the morning, I just picked up Sam and walked out.
You must have been pretty desperate.
Yes. No money, nowhere to go. I don't know what I would have done if Chris hadn't have given me a room and a job.
You're managing okay then?
For the moment. But now Ian started legal proceedings.
To get Sam? Oh, he wouldn't stand a chance, would he?
Well, that's what terrifies me. I think he might stand a very good chance.
Oh, come on.
No, all the stuff that happened between us, well, it's just his word against mine.
The police were never called in.
It was verbal abuse mainly, and threats. Lots of threats. And the few times he actually hurt me, I was too scared to call the police.
What's your solicitor say?
She wants $5,000 up front before she'll even take on the case.
Well, what about legal aid?
Well, I could if I went on benefits. But if I do that, then Ian can hop up and down in court and say that I can't afford to support Sam in the way that he could.
Well, surely the courts wouldn't go along with that. Sam's only 3.
I don't know. Ian can afford a good school for Sam. The sort of start in life that I can't give him.